It looks like we're on to another weekly update from Football Manager and Sports Interactive. And this week we are looking like we're getting some women's football news, which is interesting. Last week I brought you the screenshot of the women's game, which actually went down from their website after it was in my video. So I think they uploaded it by mistake, confirmed the WSL license. We also saw Angel City and Brighton women in the game. And the A-League also confirmed, which there is, it does show Australia. We'll come to that. The A-League confirmed, I think over on LinkedIn or somewhere, that they were involved somehow. Anyway, let's have a look at what we've got today. So I've been trying to avoid this all afternoon, but we're going to do a little bit of a deeper dive and try and find all the bits that come out rather than rush this out like I did with the first couple of videos, because there's normally some stuff that sneaks out afterwards and bits of information that you can miss.
Biggest licenses in the women's game. It's a whole new
So going back to Monday, we had this post.
14 leagues across 11 nations and 3 continents, including
So 14 leagues, 11 nations across 3 continents. You can see which ones are highlighted there. So we have the United States, England, Scotland and Northern Ireland and Wales, Sweden, Denmark, Germany, not the Netherlands, not Belgium, France, Spain. I don't think Portugal. If I go back a frame, we might see it. Yeah,
leagues across
I think not Portugal, Italy
11
and
nations
Japan.
and 3 continents, including some of the
Is that 11? Is that 14? Well, we'll find out in a second because they've been announced now. So let's go
biggest
forward.
licenses in the women's game.
Okay, so that's the whole of the announcement from Monday. Along with this, by the way, in Sweden, they've just added this as their, which might be why we see as their manager of the month, which might be why we see Sweden in the women's game. Anyway, today we get this trailer. Now,
It's been a
hopefully
long
there is
time
some
coming.
real footage in here. So hopefully we don't get DMCA'd on this. But let's have a look.
It's been a long time coming. The support, the passion, the rise of the sport.
Now that was obviously WSL. That one just then, I think. So these are all WSL, from what I can see. No, that's Sweden up there. That is Sweden. I can't see what this one is. I think that might be the German division. But these two down here certainly look like WSL.
And coming. The support, the passion, the rise of
This is a German, I think. Have I got that right? Was that the Danish league? I don't know which team this is. As a man who's a fan of a kit, I should know.
the sport. And now it is finally part of Football Manager. This year, women's football has
What? Wait, this is in the game. That looks good. I was like, what tiny stadium is this? But that actually looks like kind of nice. Those benches are very brown.
been introduced for the very first time in series history, changing
Oh, the
the
movement
game
looks good.
forever. A new dimension, fully integrated and ready for you to discover however you want to play. With 14 leagues across 11 nations and 3 continents,
Where's she looking? She's looking over that way. Why have they done this? She's not looking at us.
including some of the biggest
Oh, we go back. Right, so
across
What do we have?
11 nations and 3 continents.
there was one that like
Including-
disappeared. Okay, so we have Barclays Women's Super League licensed. So those are the 12 Super League teams. There are only 12 Super League teams. Sorry, 10 of them are Premier League teams. Leicester obviously were a Premier League team. One of them is not, which is London City, which I can't remember which team London City comes out of. It's not that, I don't think it's the one that was Millwall, which was the Lionesses. Oh, it is London City Lionesses. Yes, so this was a split from Millwall. So they are the Super League teams, obviously doing better than Millwall. And then we have Women's Super League 2 here. We have the men's ones all licensed as well. You can see these little charts are interesting. That's the league reputation, I assume. Just gonna, there we go.
Some of the biggest licenses
And there's the women. Okay, there's the Women's Super League 2. So Birmingham, Bristol, Charlton, Crystal Palace, Durham, which in men's football, nowhere. Ipswich, Newcastle, Nottingham, Pompey. We get Portsmouth. I'm gonna have to do Pompey ladies. No, they are Portsmouth women now. They renamed themselves. Sheffield United, Southampton, and Sunderland. Oh, we get to play Southampton as well. Unfortunately, it looks like those are the 2 tiers for in England, which means we don't get hashtag, for example. It might have been the first time hashtag was going to be in Foot Manager. Actually sponsored by Foot Manager at one point. This show isn't. But some of the previous ones have been. It means we won't get Gwalia United, which is Cardiff's spin-off team. Although, from what I've heard, we do have the Welsh leagues, so we'll see. But I don't know how that's going to match up.
in the women's
Oh, whoa. Okay, right. We can basically see every
and
team.
and it's
That
all
goes so
powered
quick.
by the largest women's football licenses in.
Okay, what do we have? Okay, this is the German. So Nuremberg, Leverkusen, Frankfurt, Essen, who are a little bit higher than the men's team. Carl Zeiss Jena, also, you know, not a name you would recognize in the men's team, but the rest are all there. Was there one that I missed then? Oh, and we have, okay, here we have. Okay, so we have 2 tiers in Sweden. This is Sweden. Do we have 4 tiers in the men's game in Sweden? Is that new? Has that always been the case with Sweden? But anyway, so the women's league is licensed, but the men's Swedish league is not. So we got the Litaten and the Damallsvenskan. So AIK, Kristianstad. Did we see anything on the Germany one actually? There was something just after the Germany one that we noticed. This will just be the. I think someone said this is just the ones that they loaded up. So the fact that you can't see the non-league there doesn't mean that non-league isn't in the game. It's just the ones that they've loaded into the game with. So we have. Okay, so there's not 2 tiers of German. Well, they're not showing 2 tiers of German. There's only the first. It does say women's tier 1, but they're only showing the first tier. Then the 3 men's tiers. And then we have the Swede. So we have more tiers in Sweden. That is also a. Okay, let's carry on. That was also a little slider there for Sweden.
By the largest women's football database in games.
Oh, 41,000 players. I thought it was supposed to be like 36.
Depth, authenticity, and realism.
Now, that's interesting because 40. So there are 14 leagues, right? And 41,000 players. So 41,000 over 14 is 2,000. So 3,000 per league. But obviously, they're not all in those leagues. They'll have lots of players not in those leagues. But essentially, if you divide that again by, let's say, even if you divide it by 20, which most of the women's divisions don't have, they have about 12 to 16. That's around 146 players per team, even if I use that very conservative estimation. So per team of the playable leagues, which means we probably have an absolutely massive database of players where the leagues just haven't been set up, but like it's going to be very easy for the database makers to go in and make them, which is good. So we probably are going to get the lower tiers of English football, at least the players in the teams.
But now the women's game.
Oh, look at that!
Within that same universe, one world, one ecosystem.
Oh, lovely goal that.
Your story begins here in a new dimension of the beautiful game. Select men's football, women's football, or both.
Right, there we go. That, just for all the troglodytes out there. Select one or the other or both. So if you don't want it, you don't have to play it. There we go.
All existing together in one connected
No one's
world.
forcing you, just like they don't force you the Argentinian 10th division or whatever.
But with its own identity, shaped by how women truly play the sport at the
Oh, is that a goal? Oh, what's an effort.
That means a different transfer market, shorter deals, fewer release clauses.
So it works different.
Modelled on the realities of the women's game. That's
I think that's good. That shows that they've not just like shoved a skin over a men's game and called it a day. They thought about how the women's game works different and how that's reflected in game. And I think that's going to be interesting to have to navigate as a player of Football Manager. Like, I'm looking forward to learning all the new players, all the new teams, like that I'm not familiar with. I'm familiar with a few women's players, but not that many, not as many as the men's game for sure. Like, I couldn't name you a whole team, whereas I could name you the whole Liverpool team and the whole Man United team or the whole Arsenal team in the men's game. I could probably name you 1 or 2 players across the whole of the WSL, or maybe 5 or 6 based on, you know, a couple of the Lionesses, a couple of like the Spain team, etc. But not that many. But I think it's going to be really fun to learn those players. Some of them are through FIFA as well, or EAFC. But yeah,
affected with injuries too, based on real-world player data.
They have a lot more
is still a 20.
ACLs.
For example,
ACLs.
a striker in the women's game with a 20 for finishing is rated on the same scale as a men's striker, just measured.
Oh, we have some
with a 20
attributes.
For finishing is rated on the same scale.
So this is Bunny Shaw at Man City. She looks good. If that was on a men's team, that would look very good. I mean, it's easy to compare then, right? Like, no one's suggesting, and before again anyone says, oh, why are they a 20? They wouldn't be a 20. They're not playing against each other. It doesn't matter. It's like it's irrelevant. But she looks decent. So look, we get Alex Greenwood next. She should be pretty good. Yeah, but using her as a playmaking wingback, that is a new role. What is a playmaking wingback? I am intrigued.
Just measured within their own competitive.
Yahase Gawa. See, here's like a player I'm not familiar with. She's Japanese. She's at Man City. Again, look at that passing and positioning and vision. Like, what a playmaker she'll make. A wide central midfielder, that is also a new one.
Context.
Channel midfielder. Oh, we're getting like nice new roles.
But accuracy takes more than just data. Dedicated motion capture sessions with real footballers to understand the characteristics of how women move on the pitch, from pressing to passing, from shooting to celebrating. The results? More accurate movement, more realistic moments, a game that feels authentic on and off.
I think they announced this like
this has been years in the
5 years ago.
Built from the ground up, a promise made in 2021, delivered in FM26. And this is just the start. The database will expand, the experience will deepen, the game will keep evolving. In FM26, women's football is yours to define. Step into the dugout, it's time to change the game.
So here's the thing, like, and this is a bit like, we know that the women's game is not as developed as the men's game. We don't have to pretend that it is. You know, we know that the quality levels aren't always the same, but it doesn't matter, does it? It's never going to get the same unless we start doing things like this. And I think the interest is out there, particularly in the last year or whatever. Like in the UK, for sure, there are so many people. I know so many people who, like, friends who their kids, they got daughters, and their daughters are massively into football. Family, their daughters, like my nieces and stuff, massively into football now, just because of how the Lioness has done and the increased coverage and stuff. When I was a kid, no one cared. So it's like, it's changed. It's changing, and it's going to change more. Good. Like, it's time, right? Cool. Let's see what else we have out there. Anything on his? No, pre-purchase. If you do want to pre-purchase, by the way, I do have a code. If you go to Fanatical and use code SIMAGIOFM26, you'll get a little bit cheaper than it is on Steam, and it'll help me out. By all means, wait until you get a bit more information about how the game plays. Though, you know, you don't have to do it straight away, but if you use my Fanatical code, I'll put it down in the description below, you'll get it for like $38.90, $38.39 or something like that. It's cheap. It's about £10 cheaper than on Steam, £5 cheaper than the early access on Steam. So you'll save yourself a little bit of money if you're going to get it anyway, and it supports me. So that's with Fanatical. It's an approved Sega retailer also, which is important. Let's find what else we can find on this. Introducing women's football. So here we go. Since we had the initial statement a while ago, we continue to work with football experts to make inclusion in FM a reality. Insights provided by players, managers, clubs, and organizations has enabled us to incorporate women's football in the most realistic, authentic way possible without compromising any areas of the game. Our vision was always one world, one ecosystem. You'll be able to move seamlessly from managing men to women's and vice versa. You can also turn it off if you are that way inclined. Like, I know, like, okay, there is an argument that maybe you don't want all that data, the same as you wouldn't load up every league in the game. Embedding women's football into the FM experience. They can manage a men or women, selecting a men's or women's team, or starting unemployed. Console, touch, and mobile. Okay, so if you load both, it's going to count as two nations toward. It does say mobile. Are they putting women's into mobile? I guess they can, because even if mobile's not on Unity, then it doesn't matter too much. More than 36,000 players. So yeah, it did say 36 before. She said 41,000 something. Oh, a further 5. Okay, that's the total, right? So we have 14 playable leagues: Women's Super League 1 and 2, the USA NWSL, the Google Pixel League, Japan, Italy, Sweden, to 2 in Sweden, Denmark, A-League, Wales, Champions League? The top divisions in Spain and top division in France and top two divisions in Spain will also be playable. So these are all licensed. France and the top 2 in Spain aren't, by the looks of it. That's why they're only showing us. I like the Australian one, the Ninja A-League. The Ninja A-League is a great name. Okay, so there's just the top level in some of these. FM26 is just the start of our ambition to build the biggest, most accurate women's database out there. Our women's football research team now numbers 40, and we have our sights set on new playable competitions to further capture the scale. Our men's database has taken more than 30 years to build, and we started with scratch for women's. We need to maintain the levels of depth and detail FM is renowned for. So after capturing all the factual data about players, we began the process of rating them. We did a deep dive into how every attribute is assessed, where we need to change that process of women's football. So they've kept the same attributes for women. It's not possible to play matches between men and women. The 20-point scale is relative to each side of the database. Yeah. So what that means is a player with 20 pace would not be the peak of speed in the women's game, just as a man's game would be at the peak of speed in the women's game, just as a man is in the. Yeah, that's what I said. So, it's not just because she's got a 20, but she doesn't. But what does she have? Just because Bunny Shaw has got a 15 doesn't mean she's as quick as, I don't know, Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford probably is higher than 16, but accounting for the unique landscape of women's football. A lot of your core experience within FM26 career will be similar across the men's and women's football. However, there are differences. Contracts, finances, and transfer market. Contracts are shorter and release clauses are far less common. Okay, so that's been reflected. The transfer market is dominated by free transfers. Oh, that could be fun. That could be chaos. End of contract compensation fees have been matched to real life levels. Adjusted revenues and average wage expenditures that they lay out to make them as accurate as possible. Okay. Elsewhere, we've used real-world data to accurately reflect the prevalence of and recovery rates for certain injuries where there are differences between the women's game and men's game. So I think is it the ACL? I think it's ACLs that women do more than the men. Changes to new generation of match day. The goal of the studio is to build the most realistic simulation of football as possible. That means making sure the here and now your game is accurate and maintaining your suspension of disbelief as you progress deeper. We adapted the new generation process. Some of the staff generated in FM26 will only work in the women's game and vice versa. Or some will, oh, that's interesting. So they'll have staff will have a preference for whether they'll only work in men or women's or whether they'll work across both. Data for existing owners and new gen wants to reflect their likelihood of hiring across women's and men's football. So there is like a, would they switch? Would they take on a role in the other side? With more movement of coaches and managers between the men's and women's game in FM26, you'll experience more depth and originality in every career. I'd like it if that was dynamic and it changed over time. So like initially, it's primarily men managers. Well, I don't think we maybe one women's manager in the men's game at the minute, but there's not many at all. But then it changes over time. That depth is also reflected on match day. Aware of the differences between how men and women move, we've run a series of bespoke motion capture sessions with female football. That's what they showed in the video. This is the screenshot I had last week, actually. This one, the Miedmo one. Oh, they've adjusted it. They have changed it. That defender was the other side before. They've definitely changed this. Hang on, I still have the other one. So this is the screenshot today, and this is the screenshot last week. It's a frame later, isn't it? There was a bit of criticism about the way the goalkeeper was diving. I think with so it looked like the ball had gone around this defender like that, and the keeper was diving like to their left when it's going near post. But actually, what it looks like's happened is the shot has gone left of this defender here, and it is heading towards that corner. It's funny how that gives extra context, because a lot of people were like critical of the goalkeeper diving here. It is like a frame, 2 frames later, isn't it? Interesting. Yeah, now that goalkeeper movement looks better. It's funny. It's like that old "where's the ball" trick. We're thrilled to integrate women's football into our games. Yes, perfect. So much more to come from the integration of women's football as we expand our offering. Good. Okay, more features. We have seen these things. Do we have anything else new? Let's have a quick look around. We have news, WSL, Damallsvenskan Elite. Let's see if there's anything on these screens. So, Kelly Summers is the video that we saw. Oh, here we go. Founded in 2011, the 25-26 WSL season is set to be the biggest yet, with all 132 games available to view on TV. Record-breaking broadcast deals with Sky Sports, the BBC, and YouTube. Does that mean they're going to be in the game? Oh, so it does say that all of them will be fully licensed with kits and everything, which is what we'd expect. Multi-year partnership as well, which is interesting. On 4th of November. Actually, it should be earlier than 4th of November. So let's have a look at the Frauen. Oh. No? Don't want me to see about Germany? It won't let me see about Germany. I did see 2 more leagues in the game. Yeah, this is the Damallsvenskan and Elitan. Are they releasing? They'll probably show up in a second. That's probably like popped up a second too early. I think I've done the same thing as last week. I've caught something when I wasn't supposed to catch it, but it has already been announced, so it's not like last week. So the Damal Sven scan. Do we have anything else? Any new knowledge on here? So interesting. They went for the Swedish 2 divisions. I wonder if there was like something there, like a funding thing, or why. Like Sweden is pretty good for the women's football, but like that wouldn't be my first choice. I would have got the German 2 divisions, maybe the French 2 divisions, the Spanish 2 divisions, possibly the Dutch league. Like to have 2 divisions of Sweden is certainly surprising. It is one of the best leagues, but I still think curious. Right, let's see if there's anything else on here. Let's go. Is this screenshot new? I don't think it is. So the Frauen Bundesliga one isn't working for whatever reason. There is the confirmation here on the German one. We can translate it. Fully licensed women Bundesliga, the highest German level will be represented. So that's all licensed. I wonder if we have anything else here. Okay, we don't have anything from Spanish or nothing from Turkish or Italy yet, I don't think. So I'm sure that news is coming, with the information on the licenses. I think we already see what the licenses are that are included. I wanted to relook at this image. This image was interesting because there's a licensed kickoff button at the top there. But I felt like this looked quite good. You got like some trees, like a tower block in the background. This is in Germany then, isn't it? But yeah, interesting. Official. That's the German national team badge. Are we finally getting German national team in Football Manager? Have they finally got past that block? Is this here a little? Is that supposed to be there? That is the German national team badge. I'm not going crazy. Or is that the Bundes? No, that's the German FA's badge. Is that the German FA's badge and not the national team? The national team's badge actually has the like the Eagles. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I was right. So this is the German Football Association. Well, I was wrong and then I was right. This is the German Football Association's badge, and this is the national team has like the eagle on it, but the Football Association, which I think like they do use in some, maybe they had it on one of the shirts. They do use it in some circumstances. That's in there, but that's still the German FA, so that might still indicate German national team. Ooh.
And now it is finally part of Football Manager.
So I'm just going to let that play in the background while I see you guys out. But let me know what you thought of that. I'm looking forward to giving this a go. I think I'm probably going to do like a Pentagon or a Journeyman, which has both of the leagues loaded. I'm definitely going to try out Portsmouth Women at some point and see if we can, maybe like there's a new save type where you got to do the double with the men and the women's team. So yeah, I think that there could be some really fun possibilities for saves to do, jumping between the men's and the women's game, even just doing some things in the women's game. I wish there was more leagues. I'm hoping for a lower league database. Like, it'd be really cool to use hashtag, for example. I think that would be like a nice one to do. Or also Gvalia United. Some of these teams that do much better than their men. Well, Gvalia United was Cardiff, but some of these teams that do much better than their men's teams or split or off from them, etc. It'd be interesting to see how they get on, especially without. I wonder how the resources are shared, or if they're not, between like the men's game and the women's game. Like if Manchester City get a load of money or they get a new owner or whatever, do Man City women get a load of money? And does that mean that Durham, for example, are facing a much harder challenge, or Loughborough women are facing a much harder challenge because they're owned by the university? Great finish that still once again. Anyway, if you enjoyed that, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. If you got the hype button, press that, because this is hype for sure. And make sure you follow the channel, subscribe to the channel, whichever one it is. I'm going to send you over to the other FM26 videos that we've already looked at. They're that way. Go enjoy them. Go check them out. I'm getting pretty pumped. We've got to be about a month away from playing this now, so it's going to be soon. Anyway, ciao for now. Catch you guys next time.